We're going to come for number 2. This is probably going to be a 3-parter because my videos keep getting interrupted and I have class really soon. So this is part 2 of Let's Talk Martial Arts. Again, I was talking to y'all about the tornado kicks in the videos that I recently deleted because people kept interrupting, and I had to get rid of it because I actually kind of went the hell off, and I would like you guys to not know that side of me if at all possible, because I literally am a rageaholic. I thrive on it, and when I'm pissed off, I am probably the best fighter on the planet. So for the tornado kick, I had to cue up this movie called To Be the Best with Michael Wolff to show you guys the tornado kick, or the reverse tornado kick. Actually, for him, I believe it's the reverse tornado kick that made him famous, because nobody does it like him, and nobody does a tornado kick like Brian Genesis and many other martial artists. So, this movie came out in 1993. I was graduating. I don't know how Michael Wolff is doing now, but I still have mad props from Michael Wolff. So I'm going to show you this kick, and hopefully I won't get interrupted and I can actually finish this video. So pay attention, please. That kick, that was the reverse tornado kick. So I learned it from watching him, which is why I think that you can learn a little bit from the video. But the thing is that you still want to actually have a teacher as well. So reverse tornado kick, there it is. Just go watch the movie To Be the Best. That way you can see the reverse tornado kick, because that's how I had to learn the reverse tornado kick. And I had to practice and practice and practice, because no one would teach it to me. No one would teach me that kick. And let me see if I can find martial artist Brian Genesis. E-R-I-N. I really don't know if this is his actual real name, but he was in the... This is not that guy. This is some kid. I don't know who this kid is. But Brian Genesis was in this TV show called Street Justice. From... Maybe his name wasn't Brian Genesis, but I remember the show Street Justice. And this isn't remotely showing me anything. You know what? Alright, we're gonna leave this here in case I have to remake this video. And we're just gonna open up a new pocket and type in the TV show Street Justice. What the deuce? I don't need any political stuff right now, thank you. Oh, come on, YouTube. Hey. '90s TV show. Oh, for God's sake. This was a cold weather show. Okay. Brian Genesis. Whatever. Alright. So this guy had an awesome ass tornado kick too. You can see if it does its thing. So this is the trailer from the show. I doubt if it's gonna feature his kick. But these are some of the guys that made me want to actually get into acting with my martial arts. Also, my stepmother, when I elbowed my father in the mouth and he had to get a root canal. So, this is a show with him and Carl Weathers. And it was a pretty good show. Here's Carl Weathers, former football player. Brian Genesis, I probably didn't pronounce it right. And this sexy young lady whose name I can't remember. Carl Weathers was the cop, and the guardian of Brian Genesis is basically a reboot of Sidekicks. For those who don't know what Sidekicks is, that was Ernie Reyes Jr. TV show with him and Gil Durant. There's a tornado kick. So, if not for him, and not for Michael Worth, Brian Genesis, the guy that played the original Raphael, whose name I can't think of right now, but that tornado kick, no one would teach me that shit. No one. And I was pretty mad that no one would teach me that kick. And I went around and around, and the more senseis I talked to is either they didn't know the kick, or they just didn't want to teach a half-breed kid that kick. So here's Michael Worth's kick again. It'll be coming up in a second, the reverse tornado kick. Wait for it. Wait for it. Come on, kick. Here it comes. There it is. So, you can learn from watching videos, because that's how I learned those two kicks, from watching these two excellent martial artists, Michael Worth and Brian Genesis. And there's something wrong with my machine. I can't get this thing to go away. Okay, there we go. And Carl Weathers did a little martial arts, but he wasn't like a martial artist. He was a football player. No. He didn't transition into wrestling. Let me put this guy's name up so that you guys can see it. Yeah, just Google Street Justice and you'll see it, and Google To Be the Best or Acapulco Heat, and you'll be able to see Michael Worth. Now, while all that's going on in 93, how old was I in 93? Like 18 or 19. I was really, really young. And I wanted to be these guys, man. But I also wanted to be a cop more than I wanted to be these guys. And then those dreams got shattered, and my stepmother is kind of why I kind of wanted to get into acting, because when I went to visit my dad when I was 23, and he did this number, and my reflexes just kicked in. Boom! Yeah, I didn't even realize it until it was done, and I split his gums from his center teeth all the way to like about right there. So an elbow can be dangerous. There are very few martial arts that are useless. Now, we'll say the tornado kick, reverse and forward, I don't recommend you trying them in a fight. No, I'm not going to say you can't, but I'm not going to say that you should. I mean, you can get lucky. You can get damn lucky. It's kind of like the crane kick in The Karate Kid, the original, because in the first movie, it worked for Daniel against the young white guy. In the second movie, it didn't work against the young Japanese guy. So when you're pushing your limits, you have to understand the reality of fighting is that not everything works. Doesn't mean it's not useful. It just means that some shit just doesn't fucking work. And you have to be very well aware that some things just don't work. But nothing is completely useless, which is what started off in this entire video of, let's talk about martial arts, because the simple fact is that, there are a lot of martial artists out here. Some of us legit, some of us not, some of us in the middle. I like to consider myself in the middle, because without a black belt, people don't believe you are legit. But my question for you is, if I've beaten black belts, is my shit legit, or is my training superior to the black belt training? I'm going to be honest with you, I don't like the black belt system. I do not like the belt system, the ranking system at all, especially because of the simple fact that when I was in Mr. Ennis' school, as I was leaving, I was like 16, and I had ran out of money. So I had a choice, pay for my car or pay for martial arts. Well, I'm working to keep my car. Martial arts is something that I had enough training in that I could just keep going, but to get ranking, I'd have to be in an actual school according to the 90s in Virginia. As of late now, I found out that all the shit that I learned in the 90s was just that, was bullshit. I didn't have to get my hands registered. I didn't have to be a black belt to teach. And I'm like, what? This is all new to me because I was always told, and I guess it was a way to keep me at the bottom of the barrel. That I was always told from day one. Whenever I asked a sensei at every school, they all told me the same thing: to have your own school, you have to have a fifth degree black belt. To teach in any school, you have to be a first degree black belt. And they told me that shit was statewide. So I took that as in all 50 states, not just Virginia. And I could never get a goddamn black belt because I can't break a brick. And I can't break a board. And I also haven't really tried. Because I know for a fact that when you are in a fight, a brick can't hit you back. And a board can't hit you back. But they can be used against you in a fight. If you've ever been in a street fight and someone's picked up a brick, there you go. I've been in a few street fights, I lived in the projects. I got into fights all the fucking time. From the age of 6 to 12, I was forced to fight. So, the thing about actually fighting and saying that you can fight and actually being in a fight, it's a whole different world of all of that. Because when you are a UFC fighter, which I can never get the chance to be because they sent me personal notes when the internet was just starting in its infancy, you need to get your weight up. Anybody under 120, we're not going to have you. And I'm not a boxer, so I couldn't go into boxing. I am not going to go into boxing and be the Buster Douglas of lightweight boxing. I'm not a boxer. I'm a street fighter. And in street fighting, your feet and your hands are equally used versus, being in a boxing ring. Boxing ring, my record would be 0-34. 34 losses, probably all by KO. Let's keep it real. I'm not a boxer. In the streets, different ballgame. I can actually use these, and these, and these, and my feet. So there's nothing that I can't use in the streets. Even a telephone pole. Anything that's optional, I can use it because it's a street fight. Versus these controlled environments. So I went to one karate tournament, but because I wasn't involved in a school, I couldn't be in a tournament. I went to watch a wushu thing, but again, because I wasn't in the wushu school or the wushu club, I couldn't participate. So when you're not in these things directly, you can't just walk in and say, yo, I'm going to participate. Especially if you don't have the gi, and you don't have the status and shit like that. So none of you know who the hell I am because of the simple fact that I never got a chance to actually show you what I can do. And now you can see what I can do on these YouTube videos, but they're just YouTube videos. Everybody and their mama with a camera can be a martial artist and don't know a damn thing about martial arts, which I like to point that out. A lot of people that you are watching don't know martial arts, and if they do know martial arts, they've probably never been in a fucking fight in their life, so they'll explain shit to you that isn't always accurate. Alright? When I explain something to you, it's because I know what's going to work and what's not going to work and what's that in-between possibility. And why do I call it an in-between possibility? Because sometimes what works in sparring matches don't always work in the streets. I understand that. A sparring match is not a fight. It is a test of skill and knowledge. However, sparring matches can become fights really quickly if you don't have good sportsmanship. The S in sparring stands for sportsmanship because you can lose a sparring match and beat everybody's ass. I've lost lots of sparring matches because of unexpected shit. But when it came down to hardcore real fighting, haven't had my ass whooped because I know it's real. How you train is how you fight most of the time. So when you're sparring, you have to dumb down your punches and your kicks. So you have to pitter pat because you don't want to hurt your sparring partner, as the great Ramsey Dewey will always say. Now, I'm going to tell you like this though, when it comes down to it, fighting is fighting, but training is training. Now, most of my training videos, you never see me do push-ups or set-ups and shit like that. And you definitely won't ever see me do weightlifting because the doctors told me under no circumstances whatsoever am I supposed to do any weight training. So I have to do calisthenics if I want to stay in shape. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to throw kicks and punches and see what happens. I don't have a heavy bag, so that's not happening. I don't have a training partner. So when I make videos, I'm generally making them by myself. And 9 times out of 10, most people don't really want to spar with me, and no one wants to be the guy who's getting their ass kicked. Same thing with making movies. All right, when you're making movies, the bad guy generally loses, unless you're doing a saga where the bad guy wins until the end. It's the same thing with wrestling. In wrestling, if you're the heel generally wins like for 2 or 3 months at a time, that heel gets away with damn near everything until that pay-per-view comes where everybody's like, all right, it's time for the heel to get his ass whooped. So then the heel loses, and then the next pay-per-view, or up until the next pay-per-view, the heel continues to jump you or attack you until the next pay-per-view where the heel will win. And then the heel will become the champ, and he'll have his ranking, and you'll go on about your thing if the storyline is hot. And if the storyline is not hot, the heel won't win at the pay-per-view, and you'll keep going until someone else comes along and your rivalry starts, and you get the cycle. If you're not into wrestling, you have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, then I just fucking run wrestling for you. But anyway, so when it comes down to martial arts and usefulness of certain martial arts, you have to understand where you're coming from so that you can understand where you're going. I'm actually going to restart this entire machine because something's definitely out. It needs to update. Okay. Let's hope that happens before class. Because class starts at 12:30. And it's 11:40 something now. Uh-oh. I think I'll update it after class. That's what I'll do. Yeah, that's gonna save me some problems. Oh shit. Something has gone wrong. I'm sorry guys, it's technology. Oh dear Lord. I lost everything. Like literally, I just lost everything. Oh damn. Yep. Okay, I don't know what to do from here. Let's continue with the martial arts chat, shall we? Okay, so minus that big CF. The thing is, with martial arts, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to tell you what works for me should work for you. The key to that was the word should work for you. But nothing works without training. And if you're not training, then you're probably going to be in deep doo-doo. So, yeah. Well, I have my school set to go, at least. Let's just... no. Let's do nothing. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do absolutely nothing.
Shit, every time I need the boys in the bathroom.
Okay. Sorry about that, people. Anyway, that being said, I'm sorry. It's going to be one of those clusterfuck days, as you just saw with my machine. Okay. So, I'm going to tell you, in all honesty, you're going to have to use what works for you. Even if I show you something that works for me, there's no guarantee that it will work for you. And the thing that a lot of people who make martial art videos fail to understand is that not everything that works for you is going to work for someone else. And I will make a third video to this. Let me post these two now, and that'll be that. Because they're like totally destroying my video.